Hello and welcome to the Wednesday Show on Wednesday. Hello and welcome back to the Wednesday Show. It is May 2nd. I'm CJ coming to you pre-recorded from Minnesota. It is currently 67 and sunny outside. It is almost 7 p.m. and I almost forgot to do the show today, but I remembered last minute. So our topics today are Mead, gardening. We're going to take a little break as we always do. We're going to talk about being unemployed and viewership for the show. So let's get right into it with Mead. Alright, so I think I've talked about this on the show before, and I'm not really sure if I have or haven't. But anyways, I am making mead at home. I am 20 years old for the fact, and yes, I have checked my local state laws. It is currently allowed if you're doing it in your parents' home, which I am. So, and I'm not selling this. I'm not even really interested in drinking it. I just find it interesting how it's made. The process of making mead interests me, or I'm just interested in the science behind it. So anyways, I made my first batch. Clarify, it is legal in my state for me to do this. Anyways, getting into it. So I made my first batch. I messed that up. Added too much yeast. It's very dry. I knew it would be a dry one. It was 1 gallon batch, and I only added 2 pounds of honey to it. So, what was it? So yeah, I added 2 pounds of honey. I don't know if you've ever tried mead or you make mead yourself. I think it's called a mazer if you make mead. But I'm doing a very simple method. I'm doing a 1 gallon batch. If you've made mead before, you're going to cringe at how much yeast I added, probably. I think it was 2 1/4 teaspoons, and I know that's a lot. And I used, bread yeast? But I went to, every, grocery store around here, and that's, the only one that I could find. Because, I went to, how many different stores? 1, 2, I want to say 3. I went to 3 different stores and they didn't have any, so I just decided to use some bread yeast. And I looked on Reddit and it says you can, but it can throw the alcohol content off a bit. So anyways, that one turned out pretty dry. A very yeasty flavor. And I only added 2 pounds of honey to that one. Oh, and I did add, a 1/4 teaspoon of brewer's yeast, but that one's, a dead yeast. So, but I heard somewhere that, I think this was also on Reddit, under their Mead subreddit, that could work as a nutrient for my yeast. So anyways, that one turned out pretty dry and a very yeasty flavor. But I started another one yesterday. I think it was yesterday. It's another gallon batch. It's 2.5 pounds of honey. I added the same 1/4 teaspoon of brewer's yeast. And I added 1 teaspoon of bread yeast this time. So I'm still a novice at this, but I'm thinking this one will turn out as a semi-sweet. I hope it turns out as a semi-sweet. But it's kind of a fun hobby so far. It's kind of expensive too. I just bought a siphon, a pump siphon today, and I'm just going to store it in mason jars and probably just give it to family or something, everyone that's over 21, of course, for the record. That's 21 and older only, in family, if I do, or I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with it, but it's just kind of a fun little hobby that I've been getting into lately. Very interesting, and there's so many different recipes you can do with it, so many different methods, but very expensive so far, in my opinion. Well, it's $20 a gallon or so. Well, it's $1 something for a gallon of water. Then the 2.5 pounds of honey was around $17. Then some extra costs, for my brewer's yeast, because I got a big jar of it. how much I take a little bit of that at a time, and then I have my what was it? Oh, I don't put a like an airlock on top. I use the balloon method, so I just take a balloon, I poke a hole in it with a needle to let the carbon dioxide escape. And it is very interesting process and so many different recipes you can try out, but yeah, it's kind of spendy, so this is something I won't be doing much, but once in a while, yeah, it's pretty fun. So if you haven't tried, if you're legal age to do this in your area, you might want to try it. It's kind of fun. So anyways, I thought that would be a fun little thing to kick off the show today. So let's get into our second topic, which is gardening. So also today, I live like in a townhome community in my city town area. Well, we're like a large town, small city in a sense. It's kind of hard to say. They like to say city, but it's kind of like a large town kind of a thing. I don't know. We got a sizable, decent population. But anyways, in my community, we don't really have a garden or like a community garden or any of that kind of thing. Well, there is one in our town. I just say town. There is one, but it's kind of like on the other side of town from where I lived. So I got this little, it's like a little box. It's not too big. Wooden box that's, been stained and all that. So it can handle growing food in it. So got some seeds today, and about, 2 hours ago or so, planted plants for the year, or most of them. But I did get, we did get a tomato plant. That's separate. We're trying to grow mustard this year. Never had mustard greens in my life, but I'm interested. I want to see how this turns out. That and some beets. Only planting 5 beets. We're doing 3 things of mustard greens. And then we set off another little section for, we're going to do 1 jalapeno plant and I think 1 bell pepper plant, but I'm not entirely sure. Haven't decided yet. But just planted that like 2 hours ago. So it's been pretty interesting so far. I'm interested to see how this turns out. I'm not sure if you're into gardening or not, but it'll be a fun little experiment in my opinion. Yeah, I've never really been too much into gardening. Never been a fan of weeding, but I'm kind of interested to see how this turns out. I do love jalapeno peppers. They're delicious. I love tomatoes. Beets are good. Beet greens are very good. But I've never tried mustard greens, so I'm very interested to see how this one turns out. So anyways, I think I've said all I've had to say for this topic. So we're going to take our little break. It's probably going to be a shorter episode today. So we're going to take our break as we always do. Then I'm going to get into unemployment. So see you guys in a second. Alright, if you haven't checked out my blog yet, you can check out my blog at the-quintessentialist.blogspot.com. That's the-quintessentialist.blogspot.com. I mostly do movie reviews on that, so go and check that out, please. I also have my Midwestern Gothic short story out titled The Ice Witch Under Lake Superior. You can find that on Amazon.com. If you're a short story writer and you need someone to beta read your short story, you can check out my beta reading service, my honest beta reading service on Fiverr.com. There'll be a link in the description of this podcast for that. So if you're a short story writer and you need a beta reader, check out my service. Now back to the show. Alright, welcome back to the show, and like I said, this is going to be a shorter episode this time. So anyways, I'm getting back into it with talking about unemployment. So I just quit my first job. This past Friday was my last day. And I do have a bit of money saved up, so I'm set for a while. So I'm technically unemployed right now, and it's kind of nice, relaxing for a few days. I did apply at a local bank. Didn't hear anything back, so I don't think I'm going to get that job. But me and some friends are planning on starting a movie company soon. I've talked a little bit about this before in a past episode. I think it was the last episode. I could be wrong. Or maybe the episode before that. But I'm technically unemployed. I got to get one more check, though, from work. That's coming in about a week. But yeah, my coworkers there are former coworkers. A lot of them are going to miss me, I think. I was there for a little over a year and a half. And, you build up some friendships with some people, so yeah, I'm going to miss some of them. Well, most of them, actually. They're pretty darn good people. But yeah, I just wanted to bring this up. So yeah, technically unemployed. I'm doing some side stuff. Hopefully some stuff on Amazon will take off. I'm still writing a book. I'm doing this podcast. Have a thing on Fiverr. You heard it in the ad. There'll be a link in the description for that still. So anyways, yeah, it's kind of different being unemployed again. But I'm hoping my business venture with my friends will take off. I'll post more about that later. So anyways, let's get into our last topic of the day, which is viewership. So let's get right into that topic. Okay, so I used to do the show on SoundCloud. Now I switched it over to YouTube because I'm not going to pay $63 a year yet because I can't sustain that. But I'm not sure if you started your own podcast or you do it this way, but I'm on YouTube now, and most of my episodes are getting no views or maybe one view. So this kind of sucks, so I gotta think of better marketing strategies to try and get the word out, but if you've listened to the podcast so far and you like it, please, share it. I want to get the word out about this podcast because I kind of started this because I'm bad at explaining stuff and I fumble a lot when I'm talking out loud. So in a way, this is my own little, you could say, therapy that I came up with, my idea. Also to help build confidence, just get out and talk more. And I think if you go back from the first episode to now, 3 months in, 12 episodes, I think you could notice an improvement. But I really wish that I had more viewership. And if you have any ideas, please make a comment on this, share this podcast or just give me some comments on how I can improve. But yeah, anyways, I'm probably mumbling a lot still, but I think there is an improvement. So yeah, I just wanted to thank you for, if you have been listening to the show, I want to thank you for that. But anyways, I just wanted to bring that up because it would really be cool if I got, like a small audience and all that. Even if I don't, I'm still probably going to do this for a while. It's still, I think I've noticed an improvement for myself. It's still been beneficial to me. So anyways, I think that'll bring us to the end of our show today. So let's get into it with our outro. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Wednesday show. I hope you've had a good day today. Sorry this one is being posted so late. And what else was I going to say? Oh yeah, hope you guys have a good week. I hope you have a good next Wednesday. I hope this Wednesday has been well for you. So I will see you next time.